It's time for a second quarter reset. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are here for the first time, my name is Tracy, and sometimes on my channel I talk about goals, which is what this video is going to be today, because I am going to be resetting for the second quarter, and that is going to start with my goals. So I did set some 2026 focus areas, so we'll kind of revisit that. I'm also going to do a first quarter check-in. Not excited about that, guys. Not excited about that, but it's part of the process. Got to do it to see where I need to make changes when it comes to the second quarter, because I don't want to keep setting the same goals or same focus areas if it's just not something that's going to be working out for this time in my life. So that's why I'm going to revisit the first quarter. And then from that, I'm going to set some second quarter goals. So yes, this is going to be a chatty video. So maybe grab a beverage, or maybe grab some pen and paper and goal set with me, or maybe just sit around and listen to the hot mess of a life that I have. Okay. So let's talk about some of my focus areas. I call my annual goals my focus areas because these aren't like concrete goals. These are just things that I want to get out of the year within these areas of life. Which I will say, I am using the Moxie Life goal setting system. However, what I did as part of my goal setting prep work before the year started is I defined each of these categories to best fit me. So these categories, even though I'm using personal and fun and rec and stuff like that, the definitions could be different from how you would define those. I just wanted to kind of adapt it to fit what's going on in my life. And I will say these definitions may change as well. So we'll see. Okay, so for personal, basically I wanted to build a strong foundation, and that started with routines, setting routines, becoming consistent with routines. I mean, we should all insert a laugh track here, but yeah. And that really kind of also went hand in hand with planning and scheduling, doing some time management and things like that. Again, laugh track. The other thing I put in here was creativity. And part of the reason for this is I struggle with anxiety and shutting my mind off. And I know that meditation would be very, very helpful. I struggle with that. I just cannot seem to grasp it. I know it's super simple. You just sit there quietly, but my mind will not shut off. So I wanted to add creativity, and I added that to personal because it's twofold for me. One, it is going to serve as that one type of time where I can just do some creative play without really thinking about anything else, thinking about my to-dos, thinking about life, thinking about what's going on in the world. I can just sit and play. Because my mind is focused on that creative project and not anything else. So that is the one thing that I want to focus on. Plus, it's going to tie into some other kind of focus areas that I have, which is memory keeping and stuff like that. So then for fun and recreations, my focus is experiences. So it's travel, spending time with family and friends, doing some local exploring with those families and friends, and then finding some new adventures and new hobbies and things like that. And definitely I want to up my socialization game. For work and learning, this I'm not going to chat about too much because it's mainly surrounding social media and a girl with plans. So basically I want to try new things. I haven't really done this as much in the first quarter, but I do have plans. I have started brainstorming for the upcoming months. So hopefully this will be something that I can kind of develop a little bit more. And then for learning, I had handwriting, foreign language, that has gone by the wayside 100%, but it's a long year, so that might come back. And then when it comes to family and relationships, I want to focus on connections. Reconnecting, creating new connections, things of that nature. Health and wellness, I'm not going to focus on that too much just because I have a separate health and wellness planner and I do some videos on that. I'm hoping to do a couple of videos probably in the month of April surrounding that as well. So I'll focus more on my goals in those videos, but I have some physical fitness goals, some overall well-being goals. That was kind of centered around like sleep and building in rest days and things like that. And then I have some nutrition. I had some nutrition kind of goals, like wanting to like focus on just overall better nutrition. And then mental health was also part of that. And again, that's where the stress and anxiety reduction comes in, as well as positivity and self-care. This has kind of been so-so. The physical, non-existent. I probably have been at my worst when it comes to exercising. I don't know why, but we're going to hopefully change that. For spiritual and personal growth, this I focus more on personal growth, and this is where a lot of my creative projects come into play, as well as journaling and things like that. So for this, I'm focusing on self-improvement and empowerment. I really want to like build like a positive self-image and, compassion for myself and things like that. And journaling and self-care were the two priorities for that. That has, I will say, been decent, probably better than it has been. So, I've been winning some and I've been losing some. For my annual goals I don't know why I said annual goals. For my focus areas for financial, smart money is what I put, which is money management. So I wanted to budget just in specific categories. I didn't want to overwhelm myself with setting budgets for like groceries and gas and stuff like that. Instead, I wanted to focus more on frivolous areas of my life. That went great. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about when we get to the other one. That's also been so-so. And then tracking my spending, and then savings with a purpose. I find that I'm more successful when it comes to savings when I'm saving for something, whether it be retirement or what have you. So that has been something that I have been trying to tackle. At least I'm going to try to tackle it this year, but it was something that I did start tackling in the first quarter. And then for home, again, routines made an appearance here. It's more of those weekly routines, so I don't like leave all of my home to-dos for the weekend. And then projects, which right now it's really just outdoors and yard. I don't really have any other big reno projects for the year. Okay, so let's do a recap of quarter one. This is going to be fairly, hopefully quick. I'm going to go through this kind of quick because it didn't go very well. I have tried to experiment with all different types of routines. I have set routines. I have incorporated them into my catch-all planner, and I have just not been the best with them. It's been a quarter, y'all. It's been a quarter. I think I've been saying that for like the last year. So maybe it's been like a rough 12 months, but, I will say at least I'm recognizing it's something that I need to do. So I am consistently setting the routines. I'm just not following through with them. So I'm like getting there. I'm getting there. One day it's going to stick. So we're just not going to harp on that. I really want to do the wake up routine. That's the one I really want to focus on, because I feel like that's the one routine, that and the bedtime, but more so even the wake up, that I could be consistent with. I mean, there's going to be some days that things are going to get in the way, but for the most part, I can be consistent with it. It's like the evening routines or the after work routines that definitely needs a lot of built-in flexibility, but we'll see. I'm definitely going to work on this. You're going to see this. This is going to be a rinse and repeat for quarter two. Creativity. I've been doing a lot of creative projects. You probably have seen a lot more creative journaling on my channel. I don't really think there needs to be much discussion about that. I like doing them. So that's an easy check there. Then for fun and rec, my thing was to make plans. I wanted to make plans for the year. I did not make any travel plans for 2026 and 2025. I wanted to, but actually it was at the very end of the year that I made a couple of plans. But I ended up booking 2 trips in the first quarter, and they're both taking place in the second quarter. So yay. I didn't do 2 outings a month. It's been, I'm not going to keep saying it's been a rough quarter. But weather, wintertime, I don't like the cold. I don't like the heat either. I like the fall and the spring. So I got to get my act together for the spring. And then I wanted to try one new place, activity, or hobby each month. Obviously, that has not happened this quarter. I actually really like the outings and experience. So I think I'm going to rinse and repeat that and put that in the second quarter. So we will won't talk about that too much, the ones that I'm just carrying over, because I really think that these are going to be things that if I try really hard, I should be able to easily complete those because we are coming into the spring. There's just a lot more opportunities to do things. There's a lot more things just going on. So I don't even have to try hard to find the things anymore. So the outings and the experiences, I'm going to put that directly into the second quarter. So for work and learning, it was schedule, schedule, schedule. I did set a posting schedule for YouTube. Instagram, y'all, there's algorithms. I feel like it's just a lot of work for not a lot of payoff. Just people don't see your stuff, and I don't see people's stuff. Like half the people I follow, I never see them until like their post until like 5 or 6 days later. So it just kind of makes you not even want to be on the platform that much. So I think I'm just going to focus I'll do some Instagram stuff, but I'm not going to focus too much on that. Taking photos is hard, y'all. Especially with the new iPhones. I had this iPhone for like 2 years now, and it sucks as far as photos. And then learning hobbies. We already talked about that. I hadn't done the hand lettering, hadn't done the foreign language. I'm definitely going to be pausing that for the second quarter as well. I have a busy second quarter coming up. I already said my 2 vacations come up this quarter. For friend check-ins, I had been doing that. I've been kind of inconsistent with that. But it's something that's going to always be a mainstay. That is one thing that is going to be in every single month and in every single quarter. So for fitness, I wanted to get back to the basics. This is I really like the fitness one, which is like create a workout schedule and then extra stretching sessions. I said each morning, but I need to actually add that throughout the day. That is probably going to be something that is going to be almost identical for the second quarter, just because I didn't do it at all in the first quarter. I tried. I had some wins for a couple of weeks, and then I would fall off for 3 weeks. 2 weeks on, 3 weeks off, right? Nutrition, I've actually been better, but I hadn't really followed any plans. So I've just been kind of eating a little bit more real food, but I haven't been sticking to a plan, and I really, really need to do this for the second quarter, especially early on before a really big vacation, because I want to make sure I'm in tip-top health before that vacation so I don't get sick. And then mental health, I wanted to begin meditation practice and journal. Yeah, I told you about my struggles with meditation. And the overall, I wanted to get my labs in check, like my blood labs in check, and self-care. I've been doing really well with self-care. And then for personal growth, that's a self-respect, which has come from journaling, like my affirmations journaling, my daily memories, and Dear Diary. Have not done the Dear Diary at all. I kind of just realized that that's probably not something I'm really going to do daily, if weekly or monthly. Daily memories has also been a struggle. I have tried to figure out another solution for the second quarter. Fingers crossed it works. I have been doing weekly memories. I just haven't been good with photos. So we'll talk about that for the second quarter. And the affirmations journaling, that's also fallen off, but I also have an idea for that. So we'll talk about that for the second quarter as well. For financial, low craft and frivolous spending, nope, it went great for January. I was like, this is going to be it. And then February and March happened, and the Archer and Olive spring release was oh my goodness. I just had to buy it all. And I really didn't buy it all, but I bought things I didn't need. And then Live, Love, Hot Posh, it's had some really, really good stuff, like seasonal books and then bookish release. And then, of course, the Pi Day sale from Passion Planner. So, yeah, I've bought some stuff. I am probably close to halfway through my annual budget. But I don't really know if I need anything else. So, we'll see if I can still keep that annual budget as is. And then savings, map out a savings plan, high yield savings, and retirement plan. I have not done the retirement plan and home payoff kind of plan yet, but we'll just put that off to some other part during the year. And then chores, cleaning plan. I never did that. Y'all. I never did a cleaning plan. I just still clean whenever I feel like it. Like, I don't say Mondays I want to do this, Tuesday. Yeah, I really want to. Major declutter of whole house. I started it. Yeah, that how do y'all like my like goals reflections? Now, there is something that I have done in here. These planners do not have quarterly areas in here. I guess I should have said that here. I added these pages into my planner. These are snipped. I snipped them from another planner. See, I took them out and then just put them in here because I wanted quarterlies. And the other thing that I added here as well is I added an extra weekly action steps, because this is going to be things that I need to think about when I am planning for the upcoming quarter. So we'll talk about that because I think it's a good idea. Oh, why am I like pulling quarter 4? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. We can just do Q2 considerations. All right, I made these little headers. All right, so Q2 considerations, and instead of this being monthly goals, these are my Q2 intentions. They're just, it's a little bit less intimidating to call them intentions than goals. So I just call them intentions. It's what I intend to do. Like I said, it just seems like things change so rapidly that what I like say I intend to do for the entirety of the quarter today could like have to do a complete 360 in like a month, just based on just life. Okay, so considerations that I need to keep in mind when thinking about the upcoming quarter. So the reason why I like using this is because I get to look at it throughout my like with my what do you call it? Life categories. I think about it with my life categories. So when it comes to personal, I don't really think there's that much that I need to really consider for personal, because like routines, yes, but like I might be in the office more, but I want to have routines for in office and routines for home anyway. So that's really not anything to think about. So I think I'm going to skip that one. So for front and rec, this is where I'm going to put, I have an April vacation. I have a June vacation. And my birthday's in May. And I want to do something for my birthday, which is not that far from my June vacation. But I need to think about those. Those vacations are going to play a role when I start thinking about all these other things going on too, because they're just going to take a big chunk of time away from me to be able to do other things. So like work and learning, those cruises are things that I have to take into account. So, okay. Family and relationships, May is busy for birthday months. So I know that I'm going to need to set some time aside to like catch up with some friends. Like we do things, like all of our birthdays are in May. So we do things like dinners or whatever. So I definitely need to make sure that is there. Health and wellness. I definitely want to go hard to prep for the June cruise, because it's an international cruise and I do not want to have a sinus issue when I get back on the plane and have to do an 8-hour plane ride. So yeah, that's something to also consider. So I'm gonna put that on here too. All right. So financial. I actually think my biggest financial hit was in the first quarter. I don't think I need to grab my planner. Yeah, I don't have any like big renewals coming up, and most of my trips are already paid for. So I think for financial, the only thing I need to kind of keep in mind for the second quarter is that I'm already halfway to my annual craft budget. And then for the physical environments, basically I have to make time for yard work. That's what I have to, I mean, the second quarter is really the only times I have to prep for all of that stuff. Okay, that's pretty quick. I'll start thinking of stuff there kind of as I go on, but there we go there. All right, so my quarter two intentions. Like I said, a lot of this is going to be a rinse and repeat, partially from the quarter one, just because I was not as successful as I want it to be in some cases that I should have been. So I just need to kind of refocus and try to make quarter two what I have wanted quarter one to be. So for personal, I am still going to focus on routines. So yes, I'm going to be focusing on consistency and routines. Okay. So what I really want to do, I feel like my nighttime routine is fine. I do talk about it because I do want to add stretching and possibly keep trying a go at meditation. Maybe at some point my brain will cut off and I'll be able to do it. But for the most part, my bedtime routine's on point. It's my morning routine. So I think I really want to focus this quarter on the morning routine. It's been a focus of mine for, like I said, about a year now, and I've been unable to really follow through with whatever I set for my morning routine. And when I'm saying that, it's like, obviously I wake up, I get ready, I do all the self-care stuff to get ready, but it's those extra things I want to do, like maybe stretch when I wake up, maybe journal when I wake up. It's those types of things. So, I always said I was really bad at Dear Diary. I feel like people, they do like morning pages. Now I know they say they do like you're supposed to do like 3 pages of just like not even thinking about it type journaling. I can't do that. I'm not trying to go there yet, but I would like to journal in the morning, whether it be Dear Diary or whether it just be memory keeping for the day before, because I got to do that too. That's what I really, really want to kind of incorporate. I just don't want to lay in bed. I said this last year. This has been a struggle for a couple of years now. I just wake up and like lay in bed, scroll on my phone, watch TV until I have to get up, and then I get up, get ready, get dressed, do all the things, and then work. So we're going to say I want to add health elements to my morning routine. I'm saying health elements because that's going to be like stretching, but then I kind of want to start doing my morning walks, but pollen and allergies are bad, but I might still try to do those. And then I also want to do journaling. And then I want to do memory keeping. I'm going to say journaling, mental health, and then memory keeping journaling. Okay, so that's what I'm going to focus on. And then I want to keep evening routine. We're going to say creative play. Okay. For fun and rec, I'm going to focus on socialization. So we are going to keep the same thing that I had for the first quarter, aside from setting trip planning goals and things like that, because I don't need to do that. I'm good. I'm good for the year. I don't think I can make any more trips. So I want to schedule monthly outings with family and friends. So then I think that's going to be like 2+ a month, because 1 with family, 1 with friends, maybe 2 with family, 2 with friends. So just 2+. And then the other one was try a new thing, 1 new thing each month. Okay, work and learning. I'm going to skip that because I don't really think you guys care, but that's going to be like a girl with plans type stuff. I do have some goals for that. I actually might try, like, I did a vlog kind of sort of, But I think I might try my hand at a vlog coming up. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I have some ideas. I definitely am going to kind of evaluate some things as far as scheduling goes. Might even cut back a little bit more. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, you guys don't care about that. So we're going to go to family and relationships. That's going to stay the same. We're going to focus on connections. And we want to be consistent with check-ins. And when I say check-ins, that's just reaching out to people, not necessarily making plans, but just kind of, you know, hey, I'm here, just let you know. So yeah, I just want to be consistent with check-ins. I'm keeping things simple. Like I said, health and wellness, we are going to regroup and restart. I have some plans. I'm a little nervous though, because my lower back has been like a major kind of flare-up mode for like the past 2 weeks, where I just had to have a crazy unexpected expense for a chiropractic plan. It is like injury type mode, and it has allowed me not to do anything. Like I've been I can barely even sit, let alone work out right now. But I am like in overdrive trying to get that fixed. So hopefully when I get back from my vacation, I can just start literally like on day 1 back and just start easing back into it. So I'm going to say fitness. I want to set up a fitness plan and schedule. And I want consistency. I have to figure out what my body is going to be saying to me once I get back from vacation, because that is probably going to determine what type of plan I do. Whether I'm just going to have to do very like low impact yoga, bar, stuff like that, versus some of the other things. So we'll evaluate that. I'll do that as part of like one of my weekly things. I probably will do a check-in, like I said, with my fitness stuff, probably mid-month. So when it comes to nutrition, I definitely want to do whole foods, no processed, or like, we'll say low processed. Like a low amount of processed food. That's what I should say. Not low processed. A low amount of processed food. So like very minimal, like very minimal a week. So I want most days to have none, which in all honesty shouldn't be that difficult for me. I just need to kind of focus on that. So and obviously no gluten. I've been really good with vitamins, but we need to stay consistent with vitamins. And I have noticed a difference with my kind of intake of certain vitamins that I started. So we're going to keep up with the vitamins. And then I'm going to put self-care. I'm going to put stretching, icing, chiro, and massage. Yeah. I put self-care, but that's pretty much like, I just need to do that in order to even probably, yeah. All right. So for personal growth, this one is the one that I really want to focus on. Like I said, it's more personal growth. And the focus here is going to be on, I'm going to say memory keeping. Well, I said memories. I was saying memories, but whatever. I'll put memory keeping is what I really wanted. So this is where I'm kind of going to be putting those kind of, the journaling, which is going to be, I have my 3-year prompt journal, which that isn't really mental health based. I do think I am almost finished with the number of pages that I have in my affirmations journal. This is where we can kind of talk about some of this stuff. So I have what I started last year that I called an affirmations journal. It's a creative journal, so I do pretty much all Dutch door spreads in there. Really gorgeous, really elaborate. I film most of them. And, you know, it was kind of a way to start building my self-confidence. Like I write a daily affirmation down and then just, you know, look at the affirmation and start journaling about how it can apply to me. So it's to like think about positive things about yourself or about your capabilities and things like that. I just have not done that at all this year. So I have pretty much an entire book of gorgeous spreads set up and ready to go. So what I think I'm going to do when it comes to the affirmations journal, it's actually right here. I have like this many pages left. So I do have enough for probably like a few more spreads, but I could also move into another journal to do that stuff in, because I don't know how fun this will be to write in if it gets too much bulkier. So what I was thinking is now that I've decorated it, it's pretty, I'm going to want to write in it because it's pretty, right? That I'm going to move this from my craft room, which is where it is because it's where I, you know, do all my fun decorating and stuff, and move it to my nightstand. And then hopefully I will write in this journal, and I'm going to expand. I don't think I'm going to be doing affirmations anymore. I mean, I still might do it every so often, but it's not going to be the only thing it is. I think this is going to be my positivity journal. When I was talking about my lineup for 2026, I have a journal. I still have it in the box because it has that like felt cover and I don't want it to rub off on anything, but this is the one that I'm going to start next, and it's my journal of joy. So I'm going to turn this one into the journal of joy, and then I'll start this one, which will be part 2 of my journal of joy. So I just write about positive, joyful stuff in there. So I guess we'll just call that, yeah, we'll just say journal of joy. So it's no longer affirmations journal, which is great because I don't have to explain that anymore. So I want to consistently write in this journal. So I want to move it to my nightstand. I know that's an action step, but I'm just putting that here so I remember. So yeah, this, I want it to be on my nightstand. Like I said, it might mean that there's going to be a lot of blank pages on here, but I can always just create more Dutch doors in this particular journal once I write in it a whole bunch. So it doesn't have to be filled up at one time. It doesn't have to be chronological. Like my writing doesn't have to be chronological in it. It's fine. It's fine. So that's how I think I'm going to do that. The other thing that I really need to get better at is when we talk about memory keeping. So I'm not going to write my 3-year journal in here because I've been okay with that. It's only 12 prompts a month. That's a huge commitment. And it just requires like a sentence or two. So I'm okay with that. The memory keeping is where I'm struggling. I'm struggling in 2 areas. One is my daily hemlock and oak. Like I said, I'm working on ways to hopefully improve that. I do have a video coming up where I've made a pretty big change with that to see if it helps. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So I want to do a daily, we'll say daily notes in my hemlock and oak. That almost rhymes. I'm going to call it daily notes because I'm not treating it as like a beautiful memory keeper where I'm like putting photos and stuff. It is basically a notebook, but there's enough pages for every single day because it's a daily planner. And I just want to write notes about the day so then I can use the information in there to put it elsewhere. And I'm actually going to be expanding, I think, what I keep in there because I've also been a little bit inconsistent with my health and wellness journaling. Hopefully, if I get back on track with fitness, it won't be an issue, but I can put some of that stuff in my daily planner as well. Like I can literally write everything in there. And then at the end of the week, when I'm setting up my planners and stuff, I transfer the stuff that's in here into the correct like journals and memory keepers and things like that. I just would like one place that I can know to come to. I don't have to like reach for like 1,000 different books. I can just reach for one book, jot down information from that day and be done with it. I just think it makes my life easier. And hopefully it will make me actually take notes about the day because I have been consistent when it comes to this guy. I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but this was a big priority for me, was the memory keeping. I do travel memory keeping, but I don't do everyday memory keeping, and I really want to, just because my mind is not as sharp as it used to be, and I want to remember things. So for this, like I've been kind of okay here, but then we get to February and I don't have photos. Like I had to put a Valentine's Day card over an entire week because, and March is just kind of like February. I do have photos to print out for at least 1 week in March, but it was my mom's birthday, so it was an event. But I haven't been taking the daily notes. So when I come to fill this in, basically what I do is I come in on like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I do memory keeping for the week prior. So I just do 1 week at a time, all at once, right? Yeah, that's fun. And if I don't have the notes, I forget some of the small things that happen. So that's why I want to be on point with that. The other thing that I have been very bad at is the taking of the photos. And I knew it was going to be a struggle. So I need to come up with a way to kind of make myself take photos. And it's like, it's kind of hard because it's not like you can schedule it, because you can't say, oh, I need to take a photo like in the morning and stuff, because there might not be anything to take a photo of. But every day there should be something to take a photo of. I just have to remember that, hey, I should be taking photos of, moments throughout the day. And I was watching a YouTube channel. I forget her name. It's like Loves Creating. That something Loves Creating. I don't know why. I told you my memory's bad yet, y'all. Anyway, she was talking about how she struggled to take photos, and she usually takes photos because she does like the Project Life stuff. And she was like, she just hasn't been in a good mood to even want to take photos. And I'm like, that's been kind of me. Like my first quarter has been kind of like blah. And I just haven't wanted to take photos. It's just not like, I just don't want to do anything, let alone like, I feel like, oh, there's nothing to take a photo of. I don't want to take any selfies and stuff like that. So I need to kind of force myself to get out of that funk when it comes to something like that. So we need to take photos. Don't you love my like hour-long depictions and descriptions and things like that about the simplest things, just to say I need to take photos? But yeah, I do think that that is also like a mental health thing that kind of prevents you sometimes from taking photos. I don't want to say mental health, but like, if you're like, my anxiety's been through the roof, just been feeling down, it's just the last thing you want to do is take photos. But I need to do that. So I need to make that a priority. Financial. We are going to focus on not spending on stuff. That does not make sense, but you get the gist. So I definitely need to set a budget when it comes to crafts. I don't want to be unrealistic, so I don't want to say zero, but I would love to be zero. So the ultimate goal is zero, but I'm going to set very small goals each month, like $50. Just because I'm on some like teams that I PR for or I'm reps for. And, a lot of times we have to buy the products ourselves. So I need to keep that in mind. We don't have to buy the products. I also got to keep that in mind. I don't have to buy it just because it's a new release. I can just, let you guys know. I just won't have anything here to share. So I got to keep that in mind. It's hard to, remember sometimes. But I definitely want a really low spend on crafts. I think I've gotten everything I need. So everything else will be a want. And I think the second quarter is probably going to be a little bit of a downtime as far as like sales. Not that I know anything. I'm just thinking like usually summer, there's like a lot more sales that start popping up because people are starting to try to move inventory before the new like inventory comes in for like the next year. So usually you'll have sales in the summer. So I think this might be a good time to try my best to stay at 0. But we're going to keep it a really low spend on crafts. So I'm doing really well as far as like high yield savings and things like that. So we're fine there. The one thing that I put that I wanted to work on and the first quarter that I didn't is retirement plan and home payoff plan. All right, and then for physical environment, what I'm going to focus on for the second quarter is yard work. That's the only time I really can do it because it gets very, very hot in the summer. I'm sure it does for most of us. Yeah, and I'm not doing that. So I just need to do yard work. So I just need to do flower beds, yard maintenance, or not yard, lawn maintenance. Y'all, it was like we had snow a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know if that triggered all of the freaking little purple flower weeds that have now just overtaken my entire flower beds and my entire yard. So yes, I need to mow the weeds. Ugh. And with gas prices, I'm like, how long can I wait before I actually mow it? Because I don't think I want to. And then I'm going to continue to work on declutter. That just needs to be an ongoing process. I've been really good about decluttering my craft room, but that has to be an ongoing thing. But I haven't been as good. I've been good with like little areas within rooms. Like I have an ottoman, a storage ottoman in my living room. I decluttered that, but I didn't declutter anything else in my living room. My bedroom, I haven't decluttered anything. I need to do the closets. Trying to avoid that. But yeah, there we go. All right, so I think we're done. I'm not going to be like setting my April goals up on camera because if I'm being honest, the way I do things is whatever is going to be the first month of the quarter, it's pretty much going to be this. So what you see here is going to be what I'm going to put here. I'll just kind of break some things down a little bit more for me. So I can kind of help, better achieve them, like how I'm going to maybe track them or things like that, just kind of ideas. It'll be more some of the arrows and bullet points and things of that nature. As I get into May, that is when some of these may start changing a little bit. So it might not be the same exact things that show up on my May monthly goals because, what did I learn in April? Did I learn that some of these are not going to happen in the second quarter either? Do I need to readjust some things? Did I do some of these things already? Did like this part of my financial, like the retirement plan and home payoff plan, have I finished that so I can check that off and could I add something else? So like May and June, I might have a little bit of a different kind of thing going on when it comes to what you see here. But basically what is here is going to be put on my April's goals page. All right, guys. So there we go. Yes, it's a chatty video. No, I do not have elaborate goals. The reason why I do film this, even though it's not super exciting, as I do feel like my goals are somewhat relatable. These are pretty much just basic like life goals to improve my overall well-being or my overall like happiness or my productivity and stuff like that. So I figure like this might be somewhat relatable to you guys. And I figured, kind of doing a check-in and a chat about where I am with my goals. One, let you know you're not alone for those of us that are struggling. But two, maybe you are doing better than I am and you can pat yourself on the back. Like it's not about like comparing yourself to others, but sometimes you need to know, hey, I'm not doing so bad. And that's not the right way of framing things. I wanted to say it. But yes, I like to share things with you because sometimes, we are a little hard on ourselves and like seeing where other people are at, you might be able to pat yourself on the back. There we go. That sounds a lot more positive. But yeah, so like I said, I don't know that I'm going to be coming in doing monthly goals if there's no changes, if I'm just going to be putting this on my plan for May. I'm not going to come back in and do this, but I will definitely keep doing the quarterlies. And I will also be doing weekly reflections and resets with you guys every so often, at least once throughout the month, maybe twice. We'll have to see, especially for the month of April, I'll probably just be once. But what I'll do is I will do the action steps with you guys here and then set up my planner. So it's part chatty, part putting stickers on papers. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, press that like button. If you've yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing. That is all I have for now, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening or night. Until next time, bye.